And then eventually these recordings will get up on the web, but I actually did this class earlier this summer with people just volunteered their time and we just did it together. So I have videos already up and I'm gonna give you the link to those. So one option is you could, anyway, what I would think would be ideal is if you could do it as I teach it in class, which I know is challenging because you can't Zoom and be in iMovie at the same time. Like you can, but you can only hear, you can't see. So do what you can. Stop me and ask me questions. As I said, I was expecting about 25 people. And that's a bigger group. Normally, when I did this summer, we just had groups of up to like 5 or 7. But my intention for making it 4 days is I'd like you to really not just do a superficial covering of this. I'd like you to come away from this editing a movie and knowing how to post it on YouTube if that's what you choose or do. So don't be shy to say, excuse me, I have a question. Now, I'll give you a heads up. Don't ask me questions in the chat because I can't multitask that much. Like I'll dig into the chat when this is over. But in the real time, I would need you to unmute yourself. And I haven't muted everybody yet, but I probably will because someone's probably gonna have a dog. But unmute yourself and ask me a question if you have one. And don't feel like, oh, I don't want to slow this group down. We made the time for questions. Like that's why it's 4 days. So we can make sure you're getting this, okay? All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do with you is, let's see what time. Okay, 3 minutes after, let's get started. I want to remind you, in case I forget, you need to fill out something in that schedule app, which is an attendance form, I think. And don't forget to fill out a timesheet for this. All right, so let me, excuse me. All right, so let me share with you. Sorry, my Zoom is getting in the way. Let me share with you a link to a resources doc that I have here. And I will put this in an email to you as well, but right now it's in the chat. All right, thank you, Eleanor. So I'd like you to open that and, you know, possibly make a copy of it for yourself, because if I just share it with you, there's a good chance you'll lose track of it. I mean, whatever works for you. So this is the class for editing videos on PCs or Chromes. Is that true? Am I in the right class? Yeah. Okay, I have Mac next. So for you guys, we're going to use a free platform, a free thing called Clipchamp. And it has its limitations, but that's what, it's good enough. It works. I looked through a few things. WeVideo was another one I looked at. I chose this one, and the reason I chose it is because it, WeVideo is good, but it puts a watermark on your video. And it says WeVideo as a watermark all during your video. And I didn't think it, I prefer not to be a commercial for a company when I'm trying to teach kids. So I found Clipchamp, and that one puts the commercial at the end. But I cut that commercial off. Probably shouldn't, but you can, and I don't like to do commercials when I'm teaching. So that's why I chose this one. So if we could all go over to clipchamp.com. And as I'm chatting with you, could you sign up? And I recommend with your Google account, you don't want to pay for anything. You want to choose the free version. Now, hopefully you have on your computer some photographs and some videos. If you do not, let me see if I have it on my resources page here. No. All right, I'm going to give you a link to a file on my drive, which has some clips and videos that you can use if you don't happen to have any. It might take a moment. Sorry, my Zoom is getting in the way of my, okay. It might take a moment for you to download them. But if you don't have your own, thank you to Eleanor for helping me with that. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm going to also put this in the link. In the chat. So if you are in need of some videos or photos, you can use mine. Let me get out of this. All right. So once you are on Clipchamp, let me get things out of my way so I can work a little bit easier. All right, I'm going to hide you guys. All right, we're going to log in or sign up. And over here, I'd like you to click on Create a Video. It's the large purple oval on the left-hand side toward the top. Now, of these choices, the best for YouTube, and the one I like is the widescreen, so go ahead and choose that. And I'm going to remind you guys to unmute and speak up if you have a question. Now, I'm going to take a minute just to look at you guys. Those of you who have your cameras on, if you're good with what's happening so far, can you give me the thumbs up? All right, I don't see all of you because most of you don't have your cameras on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and assume you're okay because nobody's said, hold on a minute. What we're going to do here is going to browse our files. Now, mine are going to look a little different than yours because I'm on a Mac, but using this left-hand bar, navigate your device and try and find a video and maybe a couple of photographs. Now, I just want to show you how nice this is. I can click this photograph and holding down the shift button, I'm clicking another photograph. And it's down here, that's the video I like. If I'm holding down the shift button, I can also click that one. This is how my Mac works. I'm not sure if your Chromebook or PC will be the same, but, and then I just click open and I get those 4 files at once. Or you could just do it one at a time, whatever works for you. But if you could find a video and find a photograph and get them, open them so they appear here and now in your media. So as you're doing that, I'm going to chat for a second in case people are having difficulty navigating their device to find it, or they're downloading my clips and waiting for those to download. So the goal of this is for you to be able to, my thinking, who knows how you're using it, but my vision is that you're creating videos for your class. An example was I I used to do daily videos. That was too much. I'm actually trying to figure out what it is I'm going to do when I reopen, because I promised them daily videos and I stuck with my promise, and it almost killed me. But so I can't do that again. But I do think semi-daily videos are good. And I'm just babbling as you guys are hopefully catching up. And this is going to show you how to take a video that you're creating and put a title on it, put some clips together, cut out the part where you were coughing, and then give it a nice exit and music out. Oh, and then put music. And I think those are all really important things. The editing to get the part that's not interesting out of there, and the title, the music, and the fade out. I think it's nice to have a video to be a package. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling, but let me just finish that one thought, because you know, it's soothing to them. It's an emotional, I don't know the word, salve. In these times, it gives our kids comfort when we create these beautiful pieces to share with them. So now that you have some videos, if you click on it up here, you'll see a garbage can and a plus sign. A plus sign will bring it down to your timeline. This is your timeline. This is your project. Up here are your resources that you might put in your project, but these are the only ones you've put in there so far. Now I want to point out over here underneath this preview window, there is a zoom in and a zoom out. That's important because it's hard to work with your project when you can't see the end of your clip. So I'm zooming out to get so I can see the beginning and the end of my clip. If you arrived late, could you please give me your name and your grade level in the chat if you would like to be on my email list for this class, where I would be sharing additional resources with you, if that's appropriate. Excuse me while I cough. I'll be doing that from time to time. I have a thing where I cough. It's not COVID. So when you have a clip down here, you can put your cursor on the edge and pull it in, and you're cutting off the end of your clip. You could also do that at the beginning of your clip. And that's fine, and that's good. And usually you'll want that, because unless you get this equipment that I'm recommending to you later, and no, I'm not a salesman, I'm just telling you what I bought that works for me. If you do not have a remote control, which comes with the tripod that I bought, you're always going to be reaching in to turn off your video, right? You're always going to have that thing at the end. Maybe not. But if you're videotaping yourself, you will, right? So you're going to want to trim stuff off the end for sure. But often you're going to want to take something off the middle. And this way does not work for taking stuff off the middle. When you need something out of the middle, sorry. When you want something off the middle, you drag your playhead to where you want to cut something out. Now, how do I know? I could hit, if I just hit the space bar. Let me turn this up here.
Beautiful here.
And then I realize I want to stop it right there. So I hit the space bar to stop and stop the playing, start and stop the playing. And this white thing is the playhead. So I put the playhead where I want it to be cut. And up here, you can't really see it, so look, not very bright, faded. Find split. Now you have, I'm going to move my playhead so you can see. Now you have split that clip in half. And I might know I don't want any of this panning that I do with the bridge. I want to take that out because it makes me dizzy. And I don't want anything until I'm back looking at her. Oh, I don't see her. All right, maybe about right about there. and then I can split it again. And now I can select that inside clip and hit delete, and I've taken that part out. Now, if I made a mistake and I'm like, oh dear, I didn't mean to do that. That clip is still up here. And actually, let me just double check this. I believe, yeah, no, all you have to do is stretch it back out. So that clip that you just cut away, if you pull here, it's hidden there. You just took it out, but you can get it back if you need it. So those are ways that you split clips. I'd like to take a minute for you to try that. Oh, I'm sorry, let me turn my voice.
Claire, can you also use the undo?
Yes, you could. Yeah, good point. So why don't you take a minute and try that? And then I'm going to go on to the next thing. But I'd like you to try and bring a clip into your timeline. Put your playhead right where you want to split it. And then click split. And this is random, so don't worry about doing it the right way exactly. And then randomly move your playhead somewhere else and hit split again and delete that inner clip.
Is there a keyboard shortcut like Command or Control T to trim, to cut it?
Yeah, oh, let me see. I will look that up for you. I know them in the Mac, but I don't know them on this one. Not that I'm aware of. Sorry. But I will write that down and see. I'll do a little research. Keyboard shortcuts for clipboard. Clipchamp. All right.
Claire?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm still trying to get the video into the Clipchamp.
Right on.
Is there?
All right.
I'm bringing it from my Google Drive. That's what I've got. I have the Chromebook.
Okay. So you can actually have the videos on your Chromebook as well. Just so you know, you can download things from the drive directly to your Chromebook. So I'm gonna everybody 1 sec. Maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Who am I talking to about?
Oh, Dawn Williams.
Dawn, are you comfortable with sharing your desktop with us?
I'm on my phone and
yeah. So you're not, your thing is not connected to Zoom.
Right.
All right. So what are you seeing, Dawn?
I've got a moving video. It's about 22 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got that open in my drive, my Google Drive. And then in another tab, I've got Clipchamp.
Now in Clipchamp, do you have browse? Let me share.
Browse files, yeah.
Click on that.
Okay, then it has a pop-up, add media to your project.
Yeah. So so browse
do I have
files,
to go through all this?
And then it should take you to your device's files. And I think you can get to drive through there, can't you?
Okay, I guess I have to get through all these pop-ups first. Is that the whole thing?
The pop-ups should be directing you. Like, what are the pop-ups saying? Because my pop-up was my my Finder.
Oh, okay. It's a cloud sync your media. I just kind of went through all of them. I didn't really read them.
Oh, okay. You might want to abandon ship and start over.
Okay.
So go ahead and click, let me hit cancel. Go ahead and click browse files. What happens there?
It's saying cloud sync your media.
Yeah. And that's the only choice you have. You don't have anything on the side, on the left-hand side.
No, there's just a little checkbox at the bottom, I think. Yeah, I just checked it. Okay. So it's gone. Browse files. Okay, got it.
Good. Did that work?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Did anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I actually have a question.
Okay. Who am I talking to now?
You're talking to Deborah Hill.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, and I'm actually in a similar situation. I am on my phone, but then I have my computer in front of me.
That's a good
And
thing. Mhm.
yeah, and I just have a question. I was just transferring some like photos and videos into kind of the project area. And then when I looked at my video, I put one of the videos down to work on to split up, and it just is showing me like 4 seconds. And I'm just wondering, I must be like when I play the video in the upper right, and when it and the line will go through it on the lower left, it just shows, well, I guess 5 seconds worth of video. And I
Okay,
don't know.
so is the video up in your media and you put it down in the timeline?
Exactly.
And the timeline is not, nothing should have happened to the clip. You haven't split it, you haven't touched the edges, so it should be, are you sure the original clip wasn't just 4 seconds?
You know what? Actually, I think I'm figuring something out. When I press, I think the plus button,
Uh-huh.
oh no, that looks like it just adds the same 5 seconds. I thought maybe I had to click the plus
No,
button on the media.
no.
Yeah, it just keeps repeating that same.
My gut tells me
Um,
the clip that you brought in was 4 seconds.
it was 4
Something,
seconds.
yeah,
So
is that possibly true?
I don't think it's true, just because
Oh,
when I look at it in the photo area of my computer, it says it's like 39 seconds.
oh.
But I'm thinking that maybe it can only transfer 5 seconds at a time. I don't know if that's
No,
possible.
because mine is 39 seconds.
Huh. Okay. Well, I could keep
Okay,
kind of just
here,
troubleshooting.
let me see.
We could keep going.
Okay, here's what I would try and do if I were you, maybe is upload it one more time.
Okay.
Delete the one that's up there just to avoid the confusion. You know, you got the plus and you got the garbage can.
Right. I just deleted that one out. Sounds
Now,
good.
try and bring it in again.
Okay, we'll do that. Let's bring her over. All right. So I'm just going to drop it in there. And
Dragging it in.
I dragged it in. Yeah, I just dragged it over from my photos and video area. Now I'm just going to drag it down. And yeah, it's just funny. I don't know why it only wants to give me 5 seconds. A little bizarre.
Now, as an alternative to dragging, could you click on browse and navigate it without dragging and get it that way? Maybe that would be a better.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. So let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and you
Sounds
tell
good.
me, hey, it worked, or maybe maybe I don't know if it doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Sounds good. No
Okay.
worries. Thanks so much. All right.
Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do now that we have split our clip, let me go back to my media. If these things disappear because you were doing something else, the way to get back there is click on media, which is on this left-hand side. Now I'm going to bring down some photos. You can either drag them or just hit the plus sign. So what you'll see are these black lines between my clips and my photos. And what I can put in there, I'm going to hold on one sec. Okay. Unmute yourself if you have a question, because I muted everybody. So what we can put in between our clips are what are called transitions. And if you look over on the side, the one that kind of looks like a weird checkerboard, the second from the bottom, is called transitions. When you click on transitions, you see this menu of transitions that are available to you. Now I'm going to advise you to use these with discretion. There's some fun ones where you're spinning in like a tornado. I'm not sure if that's on here, but yeah, maybe not. That might be on the Mac, but they do tend to make people know. I like the dissolve, crossfade. That's your standard one. Now to get a transition, you drag it down, and when you see the green plus sign, you let it go. So you could do a different transition at each possible break. And I'm just gonna tell you, you can overwork the transitions for sure. Now, when you have your transitions down there, looks like I didn't get one. Hold on, let me see. Oh, maybe I just need to zoom in more to see. Oh yeah, they're there. All right. When you have your transitions, they appear in your timeline like these little squares. And if you click on one of them, sorry, I'm having a difficult time. There we go. When you click on one of them, you can delete it. You can change it to a different choice. Like, oh no, I didn't really like that one. It has all of them there. And you can change the duration. Now, I suggest you change the duration often, maybe because they go so fast, you don't even notice the transition. You don't want to make it too long because then it's slow and glitchy. And if your clips are too short, you can't make it very long. It's limited by the length of your clips. Like between photos, I don't think I can, let me see, between two photos. See if I can get up to 1 second. Yeah, it goes up to 1 second. So I'm gonna have you go.
Hi, this is Edith Brusowski. I was just trying to drag it and it wouldn't let me do it. There's a little circle like not don't do it or something, but every time I drag it, it doesn't stay.
Okay, so you never get the circle with the green plus sign, or you do?
No, I get a circle with a red line across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have two clips with a line in between them?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And
There's a big gap between.
okay, you kind of glitched out, but I think you said your audio's glitching. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you're saying, but I'm going to assume that you have gaps between them.
Yeah, it keeps doing it. I have a
Now, one thing I might say, and unfortunately that you're hard to hear because your audio is glitching, but zoom in to make those gaps a little bit bigger, because that zoom in is underneath the profile, the preview window. Zoom in maybe a little bit and try it again. It needs to be between two clips, maybe let me see if I delete this one out. When I do it, it shows up as a green plus sign. You might have to move it up and
It
down.
looks like my work. Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, it says wipe down. Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
So zooming in was the answer for you.
Okay, good.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we now have some transitions. Do we have any other questions? I'm going to mute everybody for a second, but unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay. I see a hand.
Yeah, I split a clip and I tried to put the crossfade in and it went in, but when I look at the clip, it doesn't seem like it did anything. I
Yeah.
extended it to 10 seconds and it still doesn't look like it did anything.
Could you do zoom in underneath your preview mirror window? Do you see the zoom in? It might, oh, you're muted, so I don't hear you. Haley, it looks like you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I had a clip and I cut it, I split it, and then I put the crossfade into the spot there. Now you're saying I have to zoom in?
Underneath the preview mirror window, it says
Under the
zoom in. The preview window being the bigger picture.
Yeah, that I see, and it says zoom in, but it
Does
seems
Does that help
even
you
when I'm
see?
zooming in, the clip size stays the same. Let me see if I try to.
You might be all the way zoomed in then, huh? So if you zoom in, sometimes it's easier to see your transition.
Okay, so let me see. Yeah, it still doesn't. I'll work on this on my own. I don't want to waste the time, but
Okay.
it just doesn't seem like it faded in and out. And I have Adobe Premiere Elements, and I do video editing in that. So I understand the concept. I just can't get it to work.
Okay. One thing I just would say, if you can see this little box and you click on that little box, it would give you the option of extending the duration, and that might help you. I don't know if that will help you.
Okay, I'll mute and play
Okay.
around with it for a minute.
Now, if you arrived late, if you could please in the chat put the, excuse me. If you could please put your name and grade level in the chat so I can include you in my email list for this. And just so you guys know, I'm gonna end at 9:50 to give myself a couple minutes between each class. I think since we're meeting 4 times, we have enough time. The next thing we're gonna do is add a title. So I'm gonna put my playhead at the very beginning of my timeline. And if you look on the side, I want the third from the bottom, which is called backgrounds. Now you could choose to put your title on a video. You could choose to put your title on a photograph. I personally like to put it on a black background. Oh, I see, I'm adding it. It's getting added to the end of my timeline. I thought it wasn't adding it. So I'm adding this black background, which is going to the end of my timeline. And then I'm going to drag it up to the front. And I think I actually want a black background in the front of my timeline and in the back. So it shows up in the back, and then I can just drag it and plop it in the front. But I actually want to leave one in the back. Okay. So now I have this black background, and I am going to put on top of that a title. If you look on this side over here, it says text. And you have a choice of a few nice selection of titles. I like this one. So you click on the one you like, and it adds to your timeline. Now here's the part that's not intuitive, so it took me a while when I was teaching myself how to use this. One sec, I'm gonna mute. To type your title, when you added your title, which I got by going to text on the left-hand side, when I click on text, and then I can scroll down and see some really nice choices. And then I added it, then a purple box showed up down here. Now I need to click on the purple box in my timeline, and you'll look up here and you'll see 3 options: text, transform, colors. So I'm going to click on text, and this is where I'm going to type my title: Claire's Video Extravaganza. All right, and here I can choose my font. What I notice as I play with the font, I will change the font, but it does not change in the preview. But it will eventually, so don't get dismayed if you're like, oh, look, I chose Pacifico, but it is not Pacifico. I'm gonna make my text size. I'm not really clear on why this is not showing the whole title. Oh, I see, because it goes through like that, okay. So it eventually changes the font. Like it doesn't right away. Like see, it did not change the font. But now if I go and change, another option you have is to change the color of your letters by clicking on colors over here and then choosing whatever color you like. Or going on the spectrum and getting exactly the shade you want. Oh, that was for the upline. This is the text color up here. So mine has 3 color choices. And the text, I don't like that font. You can transform the text by making the text size bigger and transform. Look too big. So that's how you do your title. And this is an animated title. So when I hit play, you'll see it comes in like, that's nice. How are we doing on time? 36. So any questions about how to add a title? I'm going to give you a minute or half a minute to play around and try and add your own background. It's going to show up at the end of your timeline, so you might have to zoom out to see it. Like you'll be like, I am adding a background, but I don't see it. It's stuck at the end of your timeline. If you zoom out, you'll see them back there. Drag it to the front of your timeline. Once you have a background, click on text. Choose the one you want. One thing I want to mention to you is if you choose something like this and it says add logo, here's the deal with the logo. You probably don't have one, but you would have to pay if you wanted to put your logo on there. So Clipchamp has all these paid features that you just have to steer away from. But like you didn't ask for the logo, they put it on here. So how do you get rid of it? Because if you choose this one and you want to get rid of the logo, you put it in your timeline, you click on the purple box, and logo will show up here. And you have to say none. I know, it's just a weird thing. Oops. There you go. All right, so that's how you deal with it if one of your titles that you want to use has a logo. You have to hit no logo. Questions about putting on a title?
Yeah, could you repeat that one? I'm in the middle of about to do that, but I can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to work. I have
So
the beginning and try to add no.
Okay.
Yes, you can repeat that part. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say it again. I'm having trouble hearing you, but I've got the part that you want me to say it again. So to add a title, I'm going to get rid of all my stuff. It's probably going to be important that you zoom out so you can see the end of your project now.
Okay.
The first thing you're going to do is go to the left-hand side and click on backgrounds. You could have a black, white, or purple background. I prefer black. And you can't really see, I'll do purple so you can see it better. It shows up at the end of my timeline.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick it up and drag it to the front and plop it down in the front. So now I have one in the front and one in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to click on the letter T, title, text rather. And these are the titles. And I'm going to choose the one I want. And I'm going to add it to my timeline. Then you have to click on the purple box that showed up in your timeline, this little guy. When you click on that little purple rectangle, you get this text, transform, colors, and this one has glitch. You have to click on text, type your title, Claire Rocks. Change your font if you like. Choose a color for your font. And you could change in this one I can change the position of where my title is. And I can change the size of my font.
Nice.
And that'll give you a title. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Now, the next thing I wanted to show you is Clipchamp has, okay, you could bring in your audio files and bring in your music that way by adding media, browsing your files, and bringing in audio clips as well. You also have access to some free stuff in Clipchamp. And also YouTube provides free audio that you can use in Clipchamp. But let's first look at what Clipchamp gives us. If you look on the left-hand side, it says stock. Now, much of this costs money, so focus on the free stuff. If I click on audio, it says free stock videos, but that's actually audio. It's a typo. And it gives you all these. Let me take off my headphones for a sec. This is very nice. So for me, I really think the music is going to be really important. It's important to me. So having music play as your title comes in. And actually the way I use music, I'll have it come in loud with the title, fade out, but I keep it in the background. And then when the action gets slow in my video, I can bring that music back up and it'll have a nice little beat as we're watching something. And then it fades back out when someone wants to talk. And then I end my video with it fading, the music coming in, ramping up, the picture fading out to black, and it leaves you with this really nice feeling, like it's like a nice little package. So I'd like you to click on the plus, to choose some of these. All you have to do, sorry, every time I put my cursor there, it starts playing music. All you have to do is click on this top corner, and you'll see that plus sign show up. And then you click the plus sign, and when you're done, oh, before we leave here, they also give you some video clips, which you could maybe use. I don't know if they have, no, they don't. You could search for what you're looking for. So like if, yeah. So if you needed some stock images of something to break up your video or just, but you need to notice these all have stars on them, which means they cost money. So maybe searching for what you want may not help very much, but you could just look through the free stuff and see if any of, oh, see frying pans. See if any of these things work for you. I like this retro countdown. I use that sometimes. And the other thing, oh, this is the one where there's Pokemon. The nice thing about the GIFs, and I think GIFs can be a really good educational tool, because it shows that you are young enough to know what a GIF is, and it kind of shows your game a little bit. Like, okay, our teacher, okay. So I'm just at the kindergarten level. So a little Pokemon here or there in your video could keep their attention. Like you tell a joke and then a Pokemon shows up and laughs, you know. So these are available to you. And again, you just hit plus. And when we're done here, I'm gonna have to hit close to get back to my project. But sorry. Let me mute for a second. These have arrived into my media over here. So I'm gonna add one of my audios to my media, to my timeline. I did it by just clicking on the plus sign. And it shows up as a long blue band. Now, let me zoom out just for a minute.
Claire,
I have to say
can I ask you something?
Yes.
Does that long blue line in yours is because you chose to have the music in the background? So if you only want it at the beginning or at the end, would it only show on the end and the beginning of it?
No, it showed up this long because it is 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Oh, I see.
Now, if I had chosen this one, it would be slightly shorter because that one's only 1 minute. But I don't have to worry about it not being exactly what I want because I can like I only want it for my title, maybe fading out. Let's say that's what you want.
Right.
You put where you want it to end and you hit split.
Oh,
Then
I
you can
see.
just get rid of
Okay.
this. And now this one, when I click on it, excuse me, I have some, when you click on the blue, you get these options up at the top. One says audio, and that's your volume. And the other one says fade. And this is your fading in and your fading out. I'm not going to go into it too much in detail right today, but so you could just, okay, so you could just have, let me take this off, turn my volume.
4 more minutes.
Oh, no, no worries.
Oh, I didn't tell it to fade, sorry. So I want it to fade out. So let me just show you that.
Oh, no, no worries. Oh, hello. I'm in the Eel River.
That's my niece Lizzie in the Eel River. Standish Hickey State Park, highly recommended, amazing place. So you can use that by clicking on the audio clip. You can use these features to change the volume and to fade it in and out. I think I'm gonna stop there for now. I'm available right now, like for questions if you have it. I really hope you come back tomorrow because we're going to be going a little bit further with Clipchamp, showing you how to get your movie out of Clipchamp. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to cover tomorrow, how far we're going to get, but the trajectory is spending some more time with the features of Clipchamp, exporting your video, and then I'm going to give you an assignment to try on your own to see how you're doing. And we're also going to go over to YouTube, and I'm going to talk to you about why I use YouTube, how I use YouTube, and other options you have besides YouTube, because you will need to offer something else because it is excluding some of our students who are using district devices. Anyway, anybody have a question as we wrap it down?
I just want to know, it's it again, and see if how do we sign up for the timesheet, if you don't
That's a
mind?
good question.
Or if you can sign me up.
They just told me to remind you to do your attendance in SCED. I think it's called SCED, the schedule thing that you signed up for this class in. Somewhere over there, I haven't seen it, I haven't done it myself. There is an attendance form you need to do. And they said, make sure you do a timesheet.
Okay.
Now, I guess Debbie Dean has not sent the timesheets out yet. So you'll probably just do one timesheet at the end with your 7 hours. So I guess until you hear from Debbie Dean with the timesheet, just write it down. Yeah. Yes, Sally.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that if you go down in the chat where there's those 3 little dots and you click on that, you can save the chat and then it'll save to your computer.
Nice. All right. And do put questions in the chat because I can, like, if you're shy to say, okay, I'm not going to stop the group right now and ask a question. Probably about 10 people have the same question as you. So if you at least put it in the chat, maybe I can make sure I cover that tomorrow. And I'm Claire Dugan at berkeley.net. So you could also just email me directly. I'd love for you to let me know what you need so we can optimize these 4 days to get you guys with a tool to use and feeling confident for the new year. All right, guys. Questions?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pierre.
All right. Don't forget to give me your name and your level in the chat so I can add you to my email list. I really appreciate you guys coming out and giving me a chance.
This was great. Thank you so much, Claire.
Great. And give me feedback of how I can make it better for you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Thank you, Claire.
Eleanor, I can't thank you enough. I know that wasn't easy.
No. It was no problem at all. Glad
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go turn off my camera and my microphone and take a quick break before my next group comes in.